If you're already 70, do you really know what's waiting for you in the next 5 years? We live in an era where people are living longer than ever. That sounds wonderful, doesn't it? But that's exactly what worries me. Many older adults reach 70 or 75 completely unprepared for what's coming. Take a moment to think about these questions. You wake up in the morning and feel like a stranger in your own body. You walk into a store and the clerk ignores you as if you don't exist. You forget a word mid-sentence, and a wave of fear you've never felt before washes over you. You watch your friends disappear from your life one by one. Does any of this sound familiar? We've been told our whole lives that 70 is just a number, that age is just a feeling, and that you're only as old as you think you are. But here's the harsh reality. The years between 70 and 75 are scientifically the hardest, most brutal, and most painful stage of life. Tougher than the 80s and more complicated than any previous decade. And no one warns you. Today I'm going to share 5 reasons why the 70 to 75 stage is the most difficult. These aren't opinions, they're realities. And the main reason determines whether the next 20 years of your life will be meaningful or an endless nightmare. Studies show that 99% of people who go through this 5-year period experience these 5 changes, regardless of their financial situation, health, or family circumstances. But here's the good news. Once you understand these reasons, you can stop suffering because of them and start facing them with strength. So today, I'll reveal the 5 reasons and how to handle each one. Give this video a like and subscribe. Your support helps us keep creating this content. Let's begin. Reason 5. You become invisible to the world. When you turn 70, something painful happens. The world stops seeing you. Not gradually, not gently. Almost overnight, you walk into a store and the clerk ignores you to help the younger customer behind you. You speak in a meeting and people nod politely, but then continue as if you hadn't said anything. You go to a restaurant and the waiter treats you like you're confused by the menu. Inside, you're still the same person, intelligent, capable, full of stories and wisdom, but the world has decided you no longer matter. Margaret Wilson, 72, from Cleveland, told me, "Last month I went to buy a new phone. The salesperson wouldn't even look at me. He kept asking my daughter what I needed, even though I was the one paying. I felt like a ghost in my own body." Does this sound familiar? A study from the University of Yale reveals that 82% of people aged 70 to 75 say they feel invisible in public spaces. Researchers call it social erasure, and it hits hardest in this age range. Why? Because at 60, most people still see you as middle-aged. At 80, you receive compassion and respect for having survived so long. But between 70 and 75, you fall into a strange gap. Too old to be taken seriously, too young to be admired for your longevity. Retirement makes everything worse. Most people retire between 65 and 70. By 71, the calls from former colleagues stop and the invitations disappear. The identity you built over 40 years vanishes in 18 months. You're no longer the engineer, the teacher, or the manager. You're just retired, a label that erases everything you achieved. Family dynamics change too. Your adult children stop asking for your advice and prefer to Google things or ask their friends. Your grandchildren see you as someone who doesn't understand their world. A lifetime of accumulated wisdom suddenly has no buyers. Robert Kim retired at 70 and tried to stay in touch by calling his old colleagues every week. After 6 months, they stopped returning his calls. He felt rejected. The stress made things worse, and within a year he developed depression like he'd never experienced before. So, what can you do? First, stop trying to prove your worth to people who have already dismissed you. That system is rigged. Seek environments where age is an advantage. Volunteer organizations, mentoring programs, community boards, or religious communities. There, experience is valued. Second, build new connections with people your own age. Friendships formed after 70 are the best antidote to invisibility. They see you and understand you. Third, Develop a visible identity outside your old profession. Become a gardener, a writer, a volunteer at an animal shelter. Give yourself a new title the world can recognize. Fourth, document your story. Write it, record it, and share it with the younger members of your family. Your life matters, even if the supermarket clerk doesn't see it. Dorothy Patterson decided to try something different. She joined a community garden, started teaching reading at a local library, and made 3 new friends in her 70s. She told me, "I stopped chasing people who didn't see me. Now I feel more visible than ever." The key is this. Realize that the world you knew at 60 no longer exists. Build a new world that sees you instead of begging the old one to look back. But while invisibility hurts your soul, something even more dangerous happens inside your body. Reason 4. Your energy collapses without warning. Between 70 and 75, your energy doesn't just decline, it collapses. And the timing is unpredictable, which makes it so cruel. You wake up Monday feeling great, garden, walk the dog, cook dinner, and meet friends, thinking, "I still have energy." But Tuesday morning you can barely lift the coffee pot. You're exhausted for no apparent reason. You don't have the flu, you didn't sleep badly, you're simply empty, as if your battery was drained overnight. Ellen Brooks, 74, from Nashville told me, "I spent months planning my granddaughter's birthday party. I had everything ready. I felt fine that morning. At 2 p.m. during the party, I had to lie down on the couch. My family thought I was sick. I wasn't. I just felt empty." Does this sound familiar? A Mayo Clinic study reveals that between 70 and 75, mitochondria lose up to 40% of their efficiency. This drop is greater than in any other 5-year period. Literally, your cells no longer produce energy at the previous rate. The cardiovascular system loses about 15% of its maximum capacity. The heart pumps with less force, and blood vessels carry oxygen more slowly. Your hormones also go haywire. Cortisol rises and falls without pattern. This roller coaster destroys your stable energy levels and explains why you feel bad for no reason. The cruelest part is you can't predict when the crash will come. Young people know that if they push too hard, they'll get tired. After 70, you can have a calm day and still wake up exhausted. Frank Chen followed his doctor's advice and tried to fight fatigue with caffeine and willpower. He kept his usual routine and ignored the signals. 6 months later, he collapsed in the supermarket and spent 2 days in the hospital with dehydration and severe exhaustion. So, what can you do? First, forget the idea of having a productive day. Replace it with a productive hour. Schedule important tasks in 60 to 90-minute blocks with breaks. Second, identify your peak energy time. For most people between 70 and 75, it's usually between 9 and 11 a.m. Schedule everything important for that window. Third, stop scheduling commitments back to back. If you have an appointment on Monday, leave Tuesday completely free. Your body needs recovery time it didn't need before. Fourth, take naps without guilt. A 20 to 30-minute nap between 1 and 3 p.m. can restore up to 60% of your daily energy. This isn't laziness, it's biology. Barbara Lopez completely redesigned her week around her energy patterns. She does important activities in the morning, takes naps after lunch, and keeps afternoons calm. She told me, "I no longer trust my body to push itself. I trust my schedule to protect me." The key is this. Realize that the unlimited energy you had at 60 is gone forever. Work with the energy you have left instead of spending it all in one day and crashing for the next 3. But while your energy plays tricks on you, something even harder happens in your mind. Reason. 3. Your brain starts betraying you in subtle ways. Between 70 and 75, your brain begins to have small glitches. It's not dementia or Alzheimer's. Just awkward, frightening moments that make you wonder if you're losing your mind. You walk into a room and forget why. You see a face you've known for 30 years and can't remember the name. You're mid-sentence and a common word escapes you. You drive to the store and for a moment forget which way to turn. Each moment passes, the information returns, but the fear remains. Thomas Garcia, 72, from Tampa, told me, "I was at my granddaughter's graduation. The dean asked me to say a few words. I stood up, looked at her, and forgot her name for 10 seconds that felt like an hour. I haven't spoken in public since." Does this sound familiar? A University of California, San Francisco study reveals that between 70 and 75, the brain shrinks at a rate 3 times faster than between 65 and 70. The hippocampus shrinks 1% to 2% per year. The prefrontal cortex reduces activity, and processing speed drops about 20% in these 5 years. Your working memory shrinks dramatically. You used to remember a phone number long enough to dial it. Now you have to write it down. The emotional burden is the worst. Every lapse becomes a sign of decline. You start hiding your mistakes. Edward Thompson tried memory pills advertised online. He spent thousands of dollars with no improvement. The fear worsened his anxiety, and the anxiety worsened his memory. He ended up avoiding social gatherings. So, what can you do? First, you must know that these small lapses are normal and not symptoms of dementia. Second, train your brain like a muscle. Learn something new every day. Studies show that those who learn new skills after 70 maintain cognitive function 40% better. Third, prioritize sleep. Aim for 7 to 8 hours. Fourth, exercise daily. Walking 30 minutes increases blood flow to the brain by 15%. Carol Mitchell openly admitted her difficulties and told her family, "Sometimes I forget words, just give me a moment." She joined a book club and walks every morning. She told me, "I stopped hiding from my mind. I started working with it. The fear disappeared and I forget less." The key is this: understand that having a perfect memory at 72 is no longer your reality. Work with your changing brain instead of punishing yourself every time it fails. But while your mind plays tricks on you, something even more devastating happens to the people around you. Reason 2. Your circle of loved ones shrinks rapidly. This is the reason no one wants to talk about. Between 70 and 75, the people you love start to die. Not occasionally, but frequently, sometimes monthly. Nothing prepares you for the impact. Funerals become a regular event. Dorothy Walsh, 73, from Charleston, told me, "In the last 3 years I lost my husband, my brother, my best friend from college, and my sister-in-law. My phone is full of contacts I can no longer call. I look at photos and most of the faces are gone." Does this sound familiar? A study by the American Sociological Association shows that the average person aged 70 to 75 attends 4 to 6 funerals per year. By 75, over 60% have lost their childhood best friend, nearly 40% their spouse, and 70% a sibling. Each death is not just a loss. It's the disappearance of a part of yourself. When your childhood friend dies, the shared memories have only one witness left: you. When that witness is gone, the memory dies with you. It's not just death. You also lose loved ones to dementia. These living losses hurt differently because there's no closure. Linda Foster tried to cope with the pain by staying busy and refusing to cry. In less than a year, she developed severe depression and hypertension. So, what can you do? First, accept that grief is now a permanent companion. Second, talk openly about your losses. Tell stories. Say their names out loud. Third, invest in younger friendships. Fourth, document the people you've lost. Write memories. Create albums. Record voice notes. Patricia Davis started writing a memory journal every Sunday and joined a support group. She told me, "I stopped running from the loss. I started honoring it. The pain didn't disappear, but it stopped destroying me." The key is this: realize that losing loved ones is now part of your daily life. Create rituals to honor them instead of pretending the losses don't matter. And now the main reason, the one that affects everything else. Reason 1. You finally understand that time is really running out. Right between 70 and 75, your mind activates temporal compression, a biological change in how the brain processes the future. You stop seeing life as infinite. You start counting backward, and once it happens, there's no going back. George Harris, 71, from San Diego, told me, "I bought a new car last month. The salesman asked if I wanted the 10-year warranty. I went silent because for the first time I wasn't sure I'd be here in 10 years. I got home and cried in the driveway." Does this sound familiar? A Stanford University study reveals that in this age range the brain significantly changes its perception of time. The pathways that imagine the future see it as limited and precious. This shift creates a double burden. You feel urgency to enjoy life, but also the constant weight of its end. Every joy comes tinged with pain. Regrets become heavier. Fear about money. Will I have enough? Torments almost everyone. The terrifying part is that this awareness arrives even when the body is still relatively strong. The mind glimpses the abyss before the body falls. That gap is what makes this stage so painful. William Foster tried to ignore his anguish by suppressing it and staying busy. Within 2 years, he developed severe insomnia and panic attacks. So, what can you do? First, the time to fulfill your dreams becomes critical. Stop postponing. Write the book this month. Book the trip this week. Make that call today. Second, practice gratitude every morning. It reduces death anxiety by 35%. Third, share your wisdom. Record videos, write letters. Fourth, talk openly about death with your family. Silence makes it more terrifying. Fifth, focus on depth, not duration. Live every moment intensely. Find a spiritual anchor. Accept the end by living each day as a gift. Helen Brooks, 73, from Austin, wrote letters to her grandchildren, took the trip to Italy she'd postponed, and every morning tells her husband she loves him. She told me, "My doctor can't believe the peace I feel. I'm calmer now than I was at 68. Understanding that this awareness happens to everyone removes the shame. It's not weakness. It's the nature programmed into every human being who reaches 70. These 5 reasons are not possibilities. They are realities awaiting anyone who reaches 70. You become invisible. Your energy collapses. Your brain betrays you subtly. Your circle shrinks. And you understand that time is running out. But knowing about them transforms these terrifying surprises into manageable challenges. You can adapt, prepare, and fight back. Build a new world that sees you. Work with your energy patterns, train your mind, honor your losses, live with purpose. The difference between suffering and thriving between 70 and 75 is not luck. It is knowledge, preparation, and accepting reality in order to work within it. If this information opened your eyes, share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Leave a comment telling us which reason surprised you the most, and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Thanks for watching. Remember, aging may be inevitable, but suffering because of it is not.